This is Chicago's very own WGN News.
In a meeting, bosses should sit back and listen, not speak first or even second. That's a suggestion from a global CEO coach. Tom Gimbel joins me now to talk about the reasons why. But first of all, hi, by the way.
Always good to see you.
First of all, let's talk about what meetings we're talking about, right?
Yeah, there's so many different types of meetings.
Right.
And there's also different levels of bosses. You could have a team meeting with a mid-level manager who's, right, that's different than the CEO having an all-company meeting or an executive team meeting. So you have to use some judgment as to when you're gonna speak up.
Okay, so when shouldn't bosses speak? What type of meeting?
Well, I think it's an interesting article, and the timing's really interesting, like we were talking about, is now CEOs want everybody back in the office, and one of the main reasons is collaboration. Well, if you're a CEO and you're having a meeting with your team, and you're speaking like a dictator and you're not allowing them to collaborate, you're really defeating that purpose. So it's, if it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander type of thing. And as a CEO, you need to want to build relationships with people where they feel comfortable to speak up.
Well, first of all, if the CEO is there, it's going to be intimidation right off the bat. The fact that he or she is running this.
Yeah,
right?
I think there always is at a certain level. However, there are certain ways that CEOs can disarm people. And it's, you start off with a 2 or 3 minute conversation. We used to call it a conversation starter.
Okay.
What's something that we can all talk about? Whether it's, it could be something trivial. Who saw the F1 movie this week?
Yeah.
Right?
Did it come out already?
Or the F1 movie?
Yeah.
Oh, it's made $500 million.
Oh, okay.
Right? We got to get
I'm behind
a little more PTO for you, Micah. So, but it's one of those things of, who's seen this movie?
Yeah.
Right? Oh, I saw it, I liked it, I didn't like it. But little things to, hey, anybody, isn't it Micah's birthday next week? What are you doing for your birthday? Get people a little disarmed on the business side so they're more relaxed.
Yes.
And then you can have a more free-flowing dialogue.
But do they trust them?
Well, that's a bigger issue than just having one meeting.
Yeah.
Is there an establishment of trust? I never like the expression of a manager saying to one of their staff, I've got your back. Because it implies, from who? Who's coming after me that I need you to have my back?
Yeah, right.
But I think the idea of building relationships with people where they feel that even if they have a really, and there's no such thing as a dumb question, that's not true. There's plenty of dumb questions.
I know.
Okay? But I think the ability to feel comfortable to ask one and not feel like you're going to be kicked out to the curb, that's a very important thing. Because sometimes out of a bad idea or bad question comes dialogue that results in something positive.
Okay.
And then if one person asks a question, it may encourage somebody else to speak up who usually doesn't. And they may have the right answer to something. And so you want to keep that idea flowing. The problem that exists is time.
Yeah.
Right? We've only got a finite period of time. And so if a meeting's set for 50 minutes,
you don't want it to go over.
You don't want it to go over because everybody else, then all the meetings the rest of the day are delayed. So
everything's delayed.
Everything's delayed. So you have to be really conscious of that.
So it sounds to me you're saying you have to make the people feel comfortable, first of all, letting their guard down, a type of thing. Make them talk about their ideas first.
Correct.
And then when do you start talking? When, as a boss, do you start?
So that's a really good point. And so what you really have to realize is that most things aren't one meeting.
Right.
It's a series of things. And that's why if your executive team is changing all the time, right? New CFO, new head of HR, new VP of sales, whatever it is, if that's a revolving door, you're never going to be able to build that continuity. And then it becomes the CEO saying, Micah, what do you got? Ray, what do you got? Tom, what do you got? And that ends up being not the most trusting, creative, collaborative type of environment. But when you've got people that have been together for 5, 7, 10 years working together, you have more comfort in that. It really takes time.
All right. Thank you, Tom. See you next week.
I will be here.